And now it's Deborah Kobylt Live.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on our show, Deborah Kobylt Live. And joining me is a friend of mine, Jenn Greenhut. She's also a friend to the show. She's been on before. Jenn is a stage 4 cancer survivor. She started the brand called Love Zero Negative. See those totes there? That has a lot to do with this. She also has a nonprofit called the Zero Negative Foundation. She's written a book. What's the name of the book?
Everyone Needs Larry.
Everyone Needs a Larry, about her husband. In fact, I had you on the show to talk about that book. It's a darling book. We're going to refresh a little bit about that. But because it's Valentine's Day tomorrow, I thought it would be great to have you on to talk about love, the love you've received from all you've been through and survived with stage 4 breast cancer. And you're giving back. And part of that is through these totes, which are lovely. And I think they're phenomenal gifts. Not too late to order. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Jenn.
Thank you again for having me. I love talking to you and being on your show, and it's been a while, so we have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah. So first, talk to me a little bit about what you've got going for Valentine's Day, because I really do think these are fabulous gifts with a great cause.
So the biggest thing that we have right now are the Love Totes, and the Love Totes have been around since 2017. They were inspired by stage 4 triple negative breast cancer, and triple negative became zero negative when I learned the power of love and the power of gratitude and the power of trust, because my life was on the line and I didn't want to live miserably for maybe 2 to 3 years. I wanted to embrace life to the fullest. And I learned that that was the secret to healing. And the biggest thing for me was healing the hatred that I had for myself, because in my mind, life wasn't working out. And I looked at everything that I didn't have. And one of the things that I really wanted was a baby. And my husband and I were going through a lot of IVF rounds, and I was getting in a funk every time it failed because I wasn't getting pregnant. I wasn't having what I wanted. And so then stage 4 cancer hit. I thought, I'm doomed. I'm going to die because I failed to fill out my purpose in life. And, everyone was against me in my mind. And then I found out when I met my doctor at UCLA, best oncologist ever, Dr. Sleeman, he had mentioned that if I had gotten pregnant, that pregnancy would have most likely killed me. And in one moment, I realized always life is working out for me and not against me. And if it was working out for me before cancer, it's working out for me by getting cancer. And I looked at stage 4 cancer as a gift, and I embraced it. And I learned the power of love and gratitude. And I was cancer free in 4 months. And I should have not lived past 5 years. So it was just something that I felt was a lesson that everybody shares the superpower within. We have a choice whether to love or to fear. And I chose love. Love chose me back. That's the inspiration behind the Love Tote. And it, blossomed into crossbody bags and clutches and became now a foundation where I'm filling these Love Totes with essential items to go to cancer patients in treatment. So that's
beautiful. What do you fill them with? I just think it's so wonderful. I mean, imagine if you're sick, which you've been, and receiving something like this, I think is just, it'll make their day. It'll lighten their spirits. What's inside? What do you fill them with?
So what chemo does to you, first of all, your skin is so dry and you feel so sensitive. So anything soft. So they're fuzzy blankets that go in there. They're fuzzy slippers, fuzzy socks, beanies, because when you lose your hair, it's pretty cold to go outside without a head of hair. So something soft for your head, soft for your hands, they're fingerless gloves, the stable water bottle, a journal, because I found writing really helpful when I wrote through my treatment and what I was grateful for, what I appreciated, what I was learning. And I know some people aren't journalers, but it's in the tote just because it was helpful for me. There's a copy of the book, Everyone Needs a Larry. There are, what else? That's an inspiration, like a Spotify playlist. So there's some music playlists that are good for healing, good for making your mood a little bit better, and just a mantra that I said before chemo. So just like tips and advice that I learned that goes in to this kit that is super filled with love and intention.
Now, people who purchase a tote or anything else, you got a couple other things there on the table that you showed me before we went on. Can you pull them out?
Yeah. So in March, so we're running a little late. I really wanted these new accessories to be coming on Valentine's Day, but they're coming next month instead. But so we signed this love strap that can go on any kind of bag, but we made new crossbody bags and fanny packs that are black, and this will come in a clutch too, and this is the heart. And the strap will also be sold single. So if you just want to buy a strap for your, to change around other book bags, it's possible, but it's, spreading the message about the power of love.
I love it. And I'm going to order that. When it comes out, would you let me know? I actually like that specific one with the strap and little hearts. Perfect. I always wear black everything, as you can see. So it'll be a perfect accessory to go with what I've already have. Now, all proceeds go toward what?
All proceeds go towards, where a portion of all proceeds go towards the Zero Negative Foundation, which is the foundation I started to support cancer patients and cancer research. The cancer research program is at UCLA, which is where I did all my treatment. So it's UCLA Johnson Cancer Center Foundation. And that is where it all started, when I met the doctor that I really trusted could save my life. And one of the messages I tell patients is that don't just go with your first opinion. Get a couple of opinions and see who you connect with, because it's really about picking, like your husband, it's picking the guy you trust, and then you trust their treatment, and then you can relax and go through the treatment and work on yourself and what do you need to learn, because the doctors know what they're doing.
Let me ask you this. How did you get your attitude, if you will, or your mindset in a place that could help you heal? Because that's hard to do when you're feeling really down and you're like, why me? How'd you do it?
It was done for me in that one moment when I learned that the universe was on my side and not against me. It was really learning that one thing, because I had in my mind, like, everything was against me and life is trying to kill me because I was a failure. And I had it all wrong. Life wasn't trying to kill me. Life was saving my life by not giving me what I truly thought I was supposed to have. So in the moment, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything. I'm just going to trust, and I'm just going to embrace. And I felt so loved by the world, by the universe. And
wow.
it just, it was very powerful. It was in one moment that everything shifted for me.
What were your chances of survival, or what did the doctors tell you at the time?
The statistics for triple negative stage 4 is 12% to get to year 5.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's good that I didn't know them until after. But either way, I would be the type of person like, okay, if I have a 12% chance, I'm going to be in that 12. But I also didn't want to be miserable. And to not be miserable, you have to choose thoughts that are going to be helpful and make you feel better. And that means looking at what you do have. And I was seeing the grass was green, as opposed to the grass is always greener on the other side. So my grass was green. And when you focus on what you have, that grows. At the same time, you focus on what you don't have, then that will grow. So it was a very interesting, powerful lesson to learn that our minds are really co-creating our life.
Yeah. No stranger to, stuff happening in your life. The Palisades fires, the fires here in California, your family was completely affected. Can you talk to us about that? And how are they doing?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking, because I know we live really close to each other. So I know you felt effects pretty deeply too. I mean, it's still so crazy, like a bad dream. My parents and my sister and the kids, they all lived in the Palisades. I was on a Zoom at like 10:30 on a Tuesday, and I kept seeing these texts like, there's a fire that broke out. There's a fire that broke out. We need to evacuate. And I was like, oh my gosh, my parents weren't even home when the fires broke out. So they never even had a chance to get back to take what they would have taken. So their house demolished, ashes. My sister's house ruined on the inside, but it's still standing, but they can't live there. So recently they found a house that is nearby and was able to rent for a year. So they're all going to be under one roof. But it was tragic, like everybody's been going through. It's just so devastating to feel like I have all of our childhood memories and pictures and grandparents and passed down from grandparents and great grandparents. It's just all gone. So, the lesson is the thought of, well, this isn't going to ruin us. I want to keep that mindset of this is all working out for us in some way. What are we supposed to learn? And immediately my mom said, it's just stuff. And coming from, her, and they're in their 80s now. And, I was like, wow, now I see where my resilience comes from.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty profound, just to be able to say, after 81 years of life in that house, it's stuff and it's very painful. But to just know that we're alive and we're together and we're all going through it together is pretty powerful. And that, I think, is one of the things we're all supposed to learn as a community, even in Los Angeles. Look how we're coming together, or, so many people are giving back and want to help. I think, for the most part, we're resilient beings and we don't want to be ruined. We want to come back stronger and better and learn from what we have to go through.
Yeah, I will tell you, I'm usually one to jump in and help everybody. It doesn't matter what, giving out food, clothes, whatever. I'm a great, if somebody says, go work over there, I'll do it. This one took me down and I have a home left, right? So I've got a home. And it also made me really sick. I've been very sick the past few weeks. And I think it was from all the stress of watching my friends lose their homes, wondering if I would. It was very cold and I stayed back. To sort of guard the house because it was pitch black and our entire neighborhood was getting robbed. And in hindsight, I realized, Deborah, it's just stuff. You should have gotten out of there because, the stress of it, being right in the middle of it, I think made me really sick. And that's a good lesson. It's just stuff.
It's just stuff.
And go to a hotel, bring the pets. We have so many pets. I would need a room just for all of them. So,
oh my God, stay with us.
Really?
We were traveling with 4 dogs, 5 kids,
oh my
5
God.
others. Yeah, it was a lot of pets. And I think I shared with you, my parents had a koi pond with 29 koi fish. And we were so upset that they didn't make it because things would have crashed or the fire would have just soaked all the water up. And it turns out 2 weeks later, when we were able to go back to the ashes, the koi pond is still there and the koi are still swimming. So it was a miracle in the ashes. And it's just, we have this community. The fish had their community. They were still surviving together in the midst of this tragedy and devastation, yet they were okay. So we had a rescue team that came and got them. And the best part about this new house that they're moving to is that it has a koi pond. So they get the koi fish.
Are you kidding me? That is a miracle, I will tell you, because let's face it, it's hot. At the very least, you would think the water would have boiled. I mean, how do you think they survived this? Honestly, with the water not boiling, that they could survive? I mean, tell me, what do you think?
Well, one of my ideas is that they were hibernating for the winter. So, which means they don't even get fed. They're just at the very bottom of the pond, hanging out. So I think because of where they were, as opposed to like looking for food and being on top of the water, that probably was the perfect timing to have a fire when they were hibernating. That's the only thing that I can think of. Or it's just, like a miracle that is like the lesson in everything. There's always a miracle with all the devastation, and the community stays together. The community keeps swimming.
That's very well put. I mean, I really hope the community stays together. It's a lot to rebuild, but it's a very special community, as is Altadena. It's a magnificent community. These are people, your neighbors. You really know your neighbors. There's that great 4th of July parade every year that we've been in multiple times. I love that community. I'm in the Palisades every day. It's just this, I always, in fact, I was on that little hike. What's that hike called? No, the other one that goes, it's like a nature preserve that they built right on Friends Street there. I was right there the morning of. And it was so windy that day. I actually took video because I said, wow, this is a little eerie. The wind is just really picking up. By 9:30, quarter to 10, we were home. I had an appointment. And by 12:30, as I was heading back toward Brentwood, facing the Palisades, it had already exploded. It was that fast. And it was, I know everybody, we all need to move forward, but just sort of the magnitude of what happened is, people are still scratching their heads.
Yeah,
but
it's such a tragedy, especially for the kids who lost their high school and their school. And, now they have to be on Zoom again. And it's just, it hurts my heart, and all the animals that had to evacuate. And now it's so hard to even get to Malibu because of PCH being closed. And there's just so much that needs to rebuild. And I just hope that we can rebuild with a little more intention of like having this not happen again. I don't know how, I'm not a scientist or an architect, so I don't know how to create that, but hopefully we can just be smarter and conscious about not overbuilding and appreciating nature and not trying to just, pack it with another building.
Yeah, no, I agree. But, to your point, sadly, there is a lesson in this too. What it is, for good people who just got up that day to go to school and do what they had to do. I have no answer, but there is a lesson in there. So my heart goes out to everyone, including your family, that everybody's eventually going to be okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Larry. Larry is a dear. I just think your husband is incredible. Talk to me briefly about folks who don't know the book. Is it still available? And, his help with you and helping you recover. And you guys were just newly married too. It's not like you had been married for 10 years. This is a new thing he took on.
Yeah, we had, I think, all the hard stuff happen in the beginning. We got married and right away we're going through IVF because, we're not young spring chickens and we really wanted to have a family. So we're like, let's just go for it. And then here I am, newlywed, happily married, and very depressed because one thing wasn't working. And then I get cancer. So immediately I'm like this patient newlywed. He's a caregiver and a newlywed. And we didn't even have the time to just enjoy and travel and live life as a newlywed couple. We were just thrown into a serious love or death situation. And thankfully, he didn't leave and I didn't leave, and we just stuck it out. And in his mind, he'll say he's a very much believer in destiny. And his gut feeling was, I don't deserve to have a wife that dies of cancer right away. Meaning, it wasn't time. It wasn't his time. It wasn't supposed to happen. And I liked that thought. I thought it was a little selfish, but I also liked the fact that at least I survive in his theory. And in my theory, at first I thought I was going to die. And then I believed cancer was going to be the best thing for me and for him because it was going to make us stronger. So once we both had this like committed story that was very together, making us better, not worse, we just lived through it. And every day you just show up and you don't worry about making it perfect. We had a lot of arguments. We had a lot of disagreements. He's tired and emotional and stressed, and he has to hold his feelings in like most caregivers do because they don't want to put that on the patient who's trying to survive and live through cancer. So, there were a lot of issues that we have, but we were able to write about it. So I wanted to write the book because I thought, oh my God, I want to share these lessons, all of that I learned. And he's like, well, what about the caregiver? And I said, what about the caregiver? He's like, well, don't you think the caregiver should be highlighted? And I was like, it's perfect because yes, I was so grateful for the caregiver and all that they do. And they don't really get to be heard, seen, and understood. So we thought it was like a love letter to the caregiver. So, and his name's Larry. So we called it Everyone Needs a Larry, symbolic to everyone needs a somebody. And that somebody who stands in as the caregiver to the patient is so important. Similar to how I look at doctors, the patient and the doctor is a relationship. It has to be everyone's doing their part, not just the doctors save my life, do what you need. You know what I mean? It's like, I got to show up as the best patient that I can. They show up with the best research and medicine that they can. Same with the caregiver and the patient. So that is the story, and knock on wood, it's being developed into a movie. So I'm very excited about
Oh,
that.
tell me more. Come on, girl. Because by the way, I know you've done your share of acting. I'm going to guess you won't play yourself, but maybe you will.
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
I'll have
I know
someone
nobody
much
ever
more
does,
famous
right?
than me, much more
Yeah.
famous. But
Mm.
so I'll just give a little bit. You know, Larry comes from Philly. I come from New York. We had a whole football rivalry. I'm a New York Giants fan. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Oh, he
Congratulations.
must. Yeah, he
Yes,
must be happy today.
they're very
Okay.
happy. They're very happy, and at the same time, Eagles fans are not very happy for very long because already he's complaining like he has to wait 6 months until football season again.
Ah.
So, but so we have this rivalry, and NFL Films is now becoming like this big film production, and they're doing a lot more football movies. So we're pitching it to NFL Film Productions. The story that's a love story has to do with, you know, overcoming major obstacles, but also there's this rivalry between the Eagles and the Giants and how we met. And it's like a football love story, a true story.
Yeah, it's also a story of resilience because, that's a word that everybody tosses around, right? You got to be resilient, but you really did this stuff. I mean, I am amazed at how positive. And when you explain to me about your mom, I mean, yeah, I do think that perhaps you come from a line of optimists, but still, that's a lot to shoulder. And you made it happen. And I think that's a big part of your story too, like gathering information, getting inspiration from all you've been through. It inspires me. And I really sincerely mean that because, lately I told you I've been sick. I've been like, oh my God. It's like, Deborah, stop. Let's move forward and look at what good is happening out of this. You're resting more. You're paying attention to your body, what your body's trying to tell you. Because you're right. Something good always comes out of something, that appears to be a tragedy, right?
Yeah. And, being positive is not just like being positive and like, oh, life is great. It's like
right.
Life is hard. Life is always throwing us challenges, and being sick is not fun. I mean, it's not fun to feel crappy, but the reverse is like, I'm always asking, okay, what's in this for me?
Yeah.
Because there's always something to find that's you wouldn't find if you're not looking for it.
Yeah.
As when you're just in the woe is me phase, you're not going to find the gifts that could be there.
Yeah.
And so it's also, I feel sick, but I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I'm going to just accept this feeling and see how I can love these cells that are hurting right now. And I remember when I was going through chemo and I had this huge tumor that I could feel and everybody could feel. And I just spent some time with it. And during chemo, I felt it dissolve. I was sending it love and I was thanking it for coming. And there's so much power and intention and focus and presence. And now, even if I have a cold, I will stay very quiet and just get to know the cold and sort of try to breathe through it. And it just makes you a little less tense and stressed about it. You're not fighting it. You're just accepting it and trusting it's going to move through you, and you treat your body well. And by treating your body well, it's what you put in, but it's also what you think and all the thoughts that you're attaching to.
You need to write a little book, like a little side table book that we can pick up and look through. I love those books. Those little bits of inspiration really do something for me because your voice is so calming. You need to record this stuff. Have you thought about that?
No, but I would love to talk to you more about it.
Yeah, it's even the tone of your voice as you go through this, it just has such a great calm to it. And yes, we should talk about that because I think it'd be great. Anything else you want to share with my audience? Anything else you're working on? Frankly, you're working on enough. You're helping your family rebuild and working on the foundation and the love totes.
Well, I just want to say, we just revamped our foundation site, and I'm going to be walking in a half marathon March 16th, and looking for just donations and sponsors for the marathon walk, and that money will go towards the foundation, which will go to cancer patients and cancer research. But I feel like these days, everyone knows somebody going through cancer, and if they go to our site, zeronegativefoundation.org, they can sponsor a friend of theirs who's going through cancer and get us to send them a chemo love tote. Or if you happen to go through cancer and you want to request a chemo love tote for yourself, you're able to do that too. I'm going to be talking about our next fundraisers, which will be coming up in October, but the last year that you missed, but you would have had so much fun at the Comedy Store.
I know.
Yeah, such an amazing venue. They were so helpful and just easy to work with, and we had some great comedians, and it's all about like laughing and music, and it was called For Love and Laughs, and we'll definitely do it again this year. So that'll be
I was going to say, I hope you do it there again, because I would have loved to have been there. I was in Florida, where my family's from, and we had to leave in a day or two because of the hurricane, so we got thrown out of there too. So that's life, right? That's just the way. I would love to attend that. And I love how it's surrounded around laughter. It's so important to get that into our bodies. Let's remember to laugh. Really, we got to remember to laugh.
I know there are workshops that all you have to do is laugh, and it's contagious. And once you kind of even when you make yourself laugh, then you're like in it, and it's just, there's energy.
What does it for me? And we did this a few years back, and then we never really brought it back since COVID. Game nights with friends and family. Oh my God. Just inevitably something dumb always happens and you start laughing, and then it keeps going. For people looking for a laugh, I'm telling you, find a game night, cards, anything. Bring over your friends, neighbors. That always works for us. We love doing stuff like that.
I love that too. And it's just playing and not have to worry about anything else. You're just playing and having fun. We don't do that enough. And you're right. Yeah. We all need to do that.
Lift up the totes again, would you please? And let's give a shout out to where people can go to get one.
We have the red one just special for Valentine's Day, but we have like about 7 colors now, and the new ones are coming in the end of March. The site is lovezeronegative.com. And I'm going to put in a discount code for everybody. It's going to be VDAY15 for 15% off for Valentine's.
Okay.
And it'll be good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Jenn, I'm so happy. Go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, it's a great bag. I mean, whether you're going through cancer or not, it's a great gym bag. It's a great travel bag. It's a great day bag. I hate to say it, but I get a lot of compliments on it every day. And I think it's an intentional bag. When you pick it up, you're choosing love. When you're walking around, people see you're carrying a bag that says love. Oh, that person's probably a kind person, so it's just, you're surrounding yourself with love and positivity. And I just think that's intentional, and intentions are super important.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you left us. So that you really, this made my day, I will tell you. So you made my day. You inspired me today. You really did. And you're right. That bag, I get more compliments on mine. It's wonderful. And we will put the code in our social media postings too. So, because a lot of times people don't know, I always forget codes. Yeah. So we'll put that in. Yeah. Would you text it to me again? That'd be great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And let's not be strangers. We're neighbors, right? And we always said, we're going to do football. And we never did our football. So we'll do football when it comes back, and certainly go back out to dinner and just start enjoying again. I think we all need that. So thank you again.
Well, I really hope that you feel better soon. And let me know if you need any doctor recommendations, because, maybe you're just not meeting that right person that has that key information that you need.
I'll talk to you off camera about that, because I think that could be helpful. So we'll go there next, but later. Anyway, thank you so much, Jenn. Jennifer Greenhut. Please look her up on all her social media. And thank you very much for joining us today, everybody. I'm Deborah Zara Kobylt, and please tell your friends to tune in to Deborah Kobylt Live and my interview with Jennifer Greenhut. We'll see you next time, and a very, very happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.